Cracker Barrel is rebranded and everyone hates it. Basically because in the new logo, they just took out everything that made it interesting. Like, just look at this. The old logo, I get it. It's a bit old. It's a bit dated. It needed to be, modernized. Totally understandable. But it's got some personality. Old logo, old country store, Cracker Barrel kind of has the vibes going to it. And then the new logo, it just looks bad. Like, I'm fine with rebrands, but why do they have to do this like stupid corporate minimalist garbage thing? It's like they're trying to look like a tech company. And you know it's bad when absolutely everybody is upset about it. I think this guy made one of the most famous or one of the most popular TikToks on the whole situation.
Put the racism back in the logo. Y'all messing up Cracker Barrel. Nobody asked for this, man. That's one place you could leave it just like it is. I need to feel the Confederacy in there, man. Where's Robert E. Lee, man? Let's get these statues back up. The South shall rise again. I don't want this woke crap. What DEI hire made this logo? This is terrible. Robert E. Lee is rolling over in his grave right now. You just want to welcome everybody down to the barrel? Nah, man. You need to feel like you don't belong. That's what makes the edges of the pancake crispy. It's racism. This Chip and Joanna logo, Food Network. I hate this woke crap. Go woke, go broke. I won't be going back down to Cracker Barrel until they put the old logo back.
So that's Kevin, the voice of the people, if you will, telling Cracker Barrel what they need to do to make things right again. The food tastes better knowing that I don't belong there. I need to taste the you lost boy in the pancakes. I need some segregation with my grits. Bro, they uncrackered my barrel. This is outrageous. I need to feel the Confederacy in there. This was the only whites-only establishment our ancestors fought to be in. I need my Jim Crow nuggets, damn it. He's nothing sacred anymore. The people are furious. Cracker Barrel has gone too far this time, and they have removed everything that made the store great. And honestly, I don't think people are upset about the store changing, but I feel like they're upset that now it just kind of looks like another logo. You slap any other name in here, and it's boring. You wouldn't know what this was if you covered it up, the name Cracker Barrel, everyone would be able to recognize this. It's iconic. But if you covered up the words Cracker Barrel in here, nobody knows what this is. It's just kind of a hexagonal shape that doesn't mean anything. It's not that it's different, it's that it's different and also boring and bland and removes everything iconic about the old logo. And in addition to the logo, they're also like remodeling, and I couldn't really find good images of the remodel itself, or I did later. But while looking for them, I came across this picture. Do you notice anything interesting about this picture? Anything that you would take note of if you were a Cracker Barrel executive? Everyone in this picture is going to be dead in 5 years. I totally get it. They needed to do something to fix the fact that their population is basically just a nursing home. Now, I think conservative media is like going on this tirade against Cracker Barrel, saying like it's gone woke and this is the gays did this. The gays changed the logo. But really, when you like step back and look at it, everyone essentially is upset about that. The Today Show is criticizing it. Fox News is criticizing it. Whoever that is criticizing it. CNN's criticizing it. Matt Walsh is criticizing it. Everyone and their mom is criticizing this logo. There's no partisan politics here. Everyone is upset about this. Finally, we got a second thing that both parties can agree on. The first was, of course, that Epstein didn't kill himself. And the second is that the new Cracker Barrel logo rebrand absolutely sucks. CNBC, which tends to be more liberal leaning, has some interesting things to say about this.
$1 billion brand overhaul sparking some backlash from customers and critics who say the company is abandoning its country roots. You see the old logo on the left there with the older gentleman, the Cracker Barrel kind of leaning back into things.
Iconic.
The new logo, yeah, to put it politely, looks pretty bland. The stock did fall about 10% yesterday. Joining us right now with more on what's turning into a major branding blunder is Americus Reed, Wharton School Professor of Marketing. Americus, let's walk through this. And
I think the stock falling is more people just kind of having a gut reaction that it was different. Once you hear about the Cracker Barrel logo change, you start looking at the store and you realize sales have been falling and the stock has been falling for like the past 5 years. So probably that doesn't have much to do with it, but really it's more just an indication of how people feel about it. In a sign of protest, people are selling off their stocks and the stock price is dropping.
And talk this through. I am not a huge fan of the new logo. I think it's boring. Don't know what I think about the stores as much. The white doesn't bother me quite as much.
We'll look at the store rebrands here in a second.
But it does look like they mishandled this pretty badly, and it got picked up by social media. And now what?
Yeah, I love that point. I mean, social media is outraged about this. I mean, you can take a look at the new logo and you can determine quickly that it's an attempt to simplify, which is a trend that's going on right now. In other words, a minimalization of what you're doing and a modernization to make things a little bit less cluttered. Now, of
Boring
course,
is what it
let me
is.
just give you quickly sort of rebrand or logo change 101 marketing. You definitely want to tweak a little bit. That's point number one. Point number two is you want to make sure that along with the change, you have the story ready. In other words, you have the narrative prepared to tell consumers why you're doing this and what's behind the change. And so if you don't do that, then you can see what we're seeing now, which is a lot of people filling the silence with respect to their negative reactions to the logo. And then point number three is to make sure, and
Because Cracker Barrel basically just changed it and said, look how good it is. And then we're like totally silent on it. And then when people criticize them, they're like, no, people like it. It's the loud minority is the quote they used, are the ones that really hate it. Really, everyone is a huge fan of this. When so obviously they're not. But Cracker Barrel's like, no, this is what we're doing. This is us now. It looks good. Stop yelling at me.
and I'm not sure if they did this or not, but you make sure you do a little tiny test of things with your most loyal customers, and you just get a pressure test to see how they react. Because if it's this kind of vehement sort of vitriol anger, you could probably pick that up in a smaller test and you can figure it out way before this spirals out of control in the way that it has.
Yeah, I went back and looked at the stock. So over the last year, that stock is up 34%. They've been doing this overhaul, and at the time it was kind of heralded like, yeah, you need to do something to revive things, because if you
To be clear, that's only in the last 1 year. In the last 5 years, it's not been. It's down like 50% of the last 5 years.
look at a 5-year chart, that stock was down by
they show that.
53%.
There it is, yeah,
so
okay.
it's dropped pretty steadily since its height in 2021.
Yeah, there it is.
They probably needed to do something to reinvigorate. But you're right. First of all, the logo's boring. This move towards simplicity. I've seen other brands that have done the same thing. Oh, this needs to be simpler, easier to read. I don't like any of the ones that they've done with that, especially when it gives me a feeling of nostalgia or when it gives me information, things I need to see.
Yes.
So that move towards simplicity is like stupid if you're not thinking it through.
And I think her speaking to nostalgia makes sense there. The new logo, it just looks bad. The old one was iconic, even though the brand was struggling. I wholeheartedly agree that they needed to update something in their PR, in their designs, in their store, in their logo. Like, stuff needed to change, but this is not the way you go about that. The way you go about that is by making slow changes that your customers appreciate. If you do everything all at once, then what you get is alienation. Just look at Target. They systematically, almost seemingly intentionally with how well they did it, alienated everyone that was interested in their brand, and now Target stocks have been falling and the CEO just got ousted. It's also weird to take the one thing that was most iconic about Cracker Barrel, which was their logo, it's probably one of the more recognizable ones in the United States, and just absolutely gut it. Like, if we look at Walmart's logo, which, to be clear, I absolutely hate complimenting Walmart. But look, when they've made changes, they've been really small. This is a better one. This is before, this is after. They didn't change much. If we look here, this is before, this is after. It's a little more updated, a little more modern, a little more interesting, I would say. I actually like the new logo better, but this is how you make updates. And if we see like a history of Walmart logos, it starts out pretty boring. It's kind of just Arial font, to be fair. This was like 60 or 70 years ago. But as it updates, it kind of never loses what makes it Walmart. It's always interesting and it adds stuff. And actually the most recent one is probably my favorite, maybe the 1992 one, because it was kind of interesting, but I really like the new one with thick borders, nice deep colors, easily seeable, easily recognizable. Also, this is kind of unrelated, but I was looking at the press release for this and it says, Cracker Barrel Old Country Store today announced it has appointed industry-leading agencies to support its brand refresh, an important milestone in Cracker Barrel's journey to strengthen its connections with both loyal and new guests. Grounded in a rich history, blah, 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 blah. But the part that caught me off was leading agencies to support its refresh. You're just remodeling the inside and then changing the logo. How many agencies can this take? Apparently it takes 3. Profit, which is a global strategic and creative growth consultancy. Viral Nation, which is a social media first innovation and social media transformation brand. And also another one called Blue Engine, a leading global strategic and creative communications firm. Why does it take 3 of the largest agencies for marketing and social media in the world to take this to this? Now, I understand there's probably just like a little bit more, but 3 agencies, that's tens, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars to take it from point A here to point B when everyone hates point B. Imagine being the agency that pitched this and then getting all of this backlash and just being like, That's my bad, guys. Now, we heard from CNBC, which tends to lean liberal, but it's not just CNBC. Look at this. Ben Shapiro, woke CEO, ruins Cracker Barrel, which is, I think, maybe a little more sensationalist than I would have put it, but it's worth noting that people on both sides really hate this. Obviously, for different reasons. The people on the right think that they've gone woke and the gays, have changed the logo, and the people on the left think it looks bad, and then also hate the fact that the right thinks that it's gone woke. But I think this guy from the Damage Report actually summarizes it pretty well.
The reason they did it is that they want it to be rooted even more closely to the iconic barrel shape and word mark that started it all. And I will say, you can do whatever PR speak you want about why you did a logo change. Can we bring that up? It's not more rooted in the barrel shape when you took away the barrel. I think the barrel is always going to be the most barrel.
What barrel shape is it rooted in? There is no barrel there. It's an odd, rounded, hexagonal type shape with uneven sides.
But anyway, I just want to be very clear that simultaneously, I think this is a really bad new logo. I think it's terrible. But not for any of the reasons the right. The writer, they think this is some sort of trans thing or something, or that it's racist.
And this is so funny to me. Everyone hates it, but instead of coming together and laughing at this collectively, both sides are like pointing at each other, with the right being like, look at how terrible this logo is. Also, the gays stole our white man from us, and the left is pointing at the right and being like, look how terrible this logo is. Also, the gays did not steal your white man. Also, you're racist. Like, can't we just agree that it's crap and like laugh at them together? Why does this have to be politically divisive? Also, Gavin Newsom tweeted out about this. Governor Newsom press office. What is wrong with the Cracker Barrel? Keep your beautiful logo. The new one looks like cheap Velveeta cheese from Walmart. The place for groceries, an old-fashioned term. Fix it ASAP. Woke is dead. Thank you for your attention on this matter. This Gavin Newsom rebrand has just been one of the things of all time to behold. Now, whenever a company makes a big unpopular change, one of the major things they always try to do is gaslight their audience into thinking that everyone loves it, and Cracker Barrel has actually been no exception. I found this clip of her on a news channel, and right next to her talking about how much everyone loves it, they have superimposed the Cracker Barrel stock price in the last day.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another
Overwhelmingly positive, do you say? Unlike your stock price, which is overwhelmingly negative.
soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good.
He looks as surprised as we are. Look at this. He's like, oh, really? He doesn't believe a damn word of this.
The buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Well, Julie Messino, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to
and
be
thank
here.
You
Thank
for
you again.
answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
But no one does. I've not seen a single piece of positive feedback, and essentially everyone in the comments is echoing this as well. I haven't heard a positive note about this. I'd rather go to a restaurant with a racist vibe than a woke vibe. And I'm proud. Good Lord. Anyway, so while discussing the redesign of the logo, I also heard about the fact that they're redesigning the inside as well. And Joel Berry tweeted out this. It's like Cracker Barrel was taken over by Dolores Umbridge. This is the before. Very iconic old country store vibes, just the kind of thing that you would imagine. And this is the new one. This doesn't look good. It's so generic and boring. Like, you could have kept the Southern charm without absolutely neutering it. This is the most cookie cutout casual diner ever. This could be a Denny's or a Bob Evans or any other number of casual dining Southern diners that probably have a really problematic history if you think about it. But the fact is that this is no longer recognizable. If you look at this, you will 10 out of 10 times correctly guess that this is a Cracker Barrel. If you look at this, obviously without like the logo on the menus and, the little peggle boards, this could be anything. Now look, I understand that this is a contentious topic, which is why I've come up with a solution that keeps both the old familiar racism that we know and love while updating it for the modern times so that we don't actually have to actively cause real harm to humans. May I present to you the new rebrand? Clanker Barrel. Think about it. Clanker Barrel. I mean, we get to be racist while at the same time accepting that all humans are created equally. So thank you so much for watching. I have to suspect that this will be the last video on this channel, as I will be immediately hired by Cracker Barrel to be the next CEO.